We are Cory and Wallace, an early retired couple on a full-time journey around the world. With a passion for exploring new cultures, discovering hidden gems, and enjoying delicious local food, we are on a mission to experience as much of the world as we can.
Good morning from Fort Lauderdale.
Sadly, we have reached the end of our time here on the Island Princess. We had our final dinner last night, and as is tradition on this ship, the galley team did a parade around the dining room with the baked Alaskas, which is always a lot of fun for them.
Yeah, I actually got a baked Alaska for dessert. They made it special for us, so that was really nice. That was my first baked Alaska. But yeah, so today is a travel day and we are headed to Colombia.
So we've got a bit of a long day ahead of us. It is currently just before 7 a.m. And we don't fly out of Fort Lauderdale Airport to Medellín, Colombia until 6:10 this evening. But we are getting off early with everyone else because we've got all of Cory's family with us and the rest of the party, and everyone's flying out at varying times today. So we're gonna be getting off the ship early, heading over to the airport, and then we're probably just gonna have to bum around for the day and just hang out until our flight this evening.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed the cruise for what it had to offer. It was really relaxing and everything that a cruise should be. We had a lot of port days. As you see, I did not get off on every port day, nor did he. I think if you had this as a vacation, you would do a lot more on each island, but because this is not a vacation, this was more family time, we chose not to.
It does have its benefits. You get to see a lot of different cities, and it's easy because you just wake up and boom, you're in, another country, another town, something interesting, different to see, and then you get off the ship for the day, come back on, have your dinner, wake up the next day, and lather, rinse, repeat. So there are definitely benefits to it, and in fact, we will be going on another cruise next September in 2026. So if you're interested in cruises, stay tuned for that.
So yeah, right now we're just getting off the ship, and we'll probably pick it up when we get on to our flight to Colombia.
Yeah, because customs as you get off these ships can be a little bit chaotic, but we'll catch up with you guys again in a little bit.
There was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across the room. And damn, what a hell of a view. I feel good, you look great. I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date. You're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight. Don't waste time to my place. I feel my heart erase. So catch me if I fall.
So with most travel days, you generally go smoothly for us. Things have not gone smoothly again.
So we're here at the airport. Luckily, we're here early. It's like 8:30 in the morning now. We got off the ship. Okay, it was a bit of a mess to get off the ship. That was just a little disorganized, but whatever. We're here at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood Airport, and it looks like Cory's family wasn't on the flight that they're supposed to be on. I'm not exactly sure what happened. United figured it out eventually. Now they are on the flight, but only until Vancouver. And apparently that last Air Canada leg from Vancouver to Terrace, which is the home airport for her family, apparently that flight got canceled back in October and no one here knew about it. So we're in the middle of trying to work that out right now.
Luckily, we have some people here that kind of like live in the States. Everyone, they're snowbirds, so they have an American plan. So we're able to phone and figure things out. Worst case scenario, my parents will get to Vancouver and then phone and try to figure everything out.
And if they have to spend a night in Vancouver, so be it. It's not the end of the world. We are here sitting in Terminal 1, which is where we're going to be flying out of later tonight, but we don't fly out till after 6 p.m. So we can't even check in till 3 p.m. So we're just going to be killing some time for the next few hours.
And helping my parents sort everything out.
5 hours later.
It is a few hours later, and we are now through security here at Fort Lauderdale Airport.
super easy, super relaxed. They didn't even question any of our bags or anything like that.
And it's super easy because they have the new CT scanners, so that basically you don't even need to take anything out of the bag. Computers, laptops, liquids all stay in the bag, and they can scan everything. So it is so much easier. So yeah, we now have about 3 hours till our plane departs. We are going to go find our gate and just relax for a little while.
Yeah, we hung out with a couple of friends from the cruise up until this point. We're the last in Fort Lauderdale, and we've currently split ways, and we're all going to our destinations at this point. So it's kind of sad. We're all going to be on our own now.
Yeah, it's been 28 days with a big group of people, so it is very weird to be back on our own again, but definitely looking forward to it.
This airport is actually really, really quiet for being an international airport, but also it has multiple terminals. So we're in Terminal 1, but I think it has like 4 terminals at the moment, and a 5th being built. So that really does disperse the number of people in each terminal. So another reason you get to the airport early is because things go wrong. Luckily, we got here super early. We decided to get off the cruise ship early. We just weren't sure what was happening with my parents' flights. They got a bunch of emails and nothing was very clear. And we're so grateful that we did. Not only were their flights really buggered, but there was a lot of fixing that needed to happen. And they got a bang-up flight attendant.
Gate agent.
And she took care of it.
Yeah, so when they showed up at the United Airlines check-in gate this morning here at the airport, only Cory's sister was showing as being on that flight. For some reason, the rest of the party, for whatever reason, the flight didn't exist for them. They got a really good gate agent who was able to resolve that portion of it, but then it turned out that their flight from Vancouver back to Terrace had been canceled, and there was like basically nothing else at that point. They were planning to fly to Vancouver and just have to call and deal with Air Canada and figure out the next step from there, like later tonight or tomorrow morning. But because they got a really kick-ass gate agent at United, she took the time to help them resolve it, was able to get them onto the next Air Canada flight tomorrow morning, and got them booked through all the way home. And it just means they have to spend a night in Vancouver now.
But that took, I think, a total of, I want to say at least 2 to 3 hours, or at least an hour and a half to sort.
Oh, no. From the time we got to the airport to the time she sorted that, it's probably 40 to 60 minutes,
but
I would
still,
say.
a significant amount of time that she took the time out of her day to help deal with. So shout out to whoever that was on United.
We don't know your name, sorry, but if you somehow miraculously see this, thank you very much. We are on our way to Colombia. For this flight to Medellín, Colombia, we are flying business class on Avianca on an Airbus A320-200. It's not as comfortable as, a lie flat business class product would be, but it's not bad. We're in row 2, seats D and K, so aisle and window. And we've got, a decent amount of legroom. Again, we're short, so that's not a problem. But I can turn the camera around and show you what we're dealing with here. So there's no in-flight entertainment. We got a device holder there, so you can put your cell phone. Got a tray table, seat back pocket, lots of legroom for us. We've been given this kit, which has a pillow and a blanket inside, and Cory's already unraveled hers.
The blanket is more on the cheap side. It isn't very soft or anything like that, which isn't really surprising because the regional business classes aren't usually that great. But it'll be nice to have a blanket for this trip. And the pillow is actually pretty soft.
And basically this is a economy configuration, so it's a 3 and 3, except in these business class rows, this middle seat has been removed, And so our seats are a little bit wider, and they've got this center console here between us, basically for drinks and stuff. As well, just under here, there is power and USB. Pretty straightforward, but it's only a 3.5-hour flight, and then we will be in Medellín, Colombia. Just under an hour into our flight, and we've been served dinner. Looks honestly better than I would have expected. It's served on actual plates and like steel flatware. It's served all at once, so there's no separate courses. But you know what? It's better than I was expecting, so I'll take it. We've got some pasta here. I'm not sure what kind exactly. Some bread. A little salad with some ranch dressing. Dessert is a chocolate pudding, I believe. Some butter for the bread, as well as this cute little stacked salt and pepper shaker, and a napkin and some cutlery. Dinner was reasonably edible. The pasta was like a creamy mushroom spaghetti of some sort. Really, really fine spaghetti, but the noodles were horribly overcooked. Otherwise, the flavor was okay. The bread was fresh. The salad was okay. The ranch dressing actually was pretty tasty. And so, all in all, I'm not going to complain for a 3.5-hour flight. It's better than nothing. Cory is asleep at the moment, but we didn't actually order a gluten-free meal for her, so I don't know what, if anything, on board would have been edible for her. We have landed in Medellín, Colombia. Unfortunately, it's going to take a while before we can get through customs. Okay guys, it is many hours later. It's really late. It's after 12:30 in the morning now. The airport was a complete gong show, and it took us 2 hours to clear through customs and get out of the airport and get our bags.
Yeah, we've been up since 5:30 in the morning, and to be honest, it's hard to think right now.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of giving you like, we're here, and then we'll do everything tomorrow just to kind of give you like the big rundown, because there's a lot of things that kind of caught us off guard. So
anyways, that's it for tonight. We are here at the hotel. We're at the Fairfield by Marriott Medellín Sabaneta, and it's at least a nice comfortable hotel room, so we are gonna have a shower and get to bed, and we will catch up with you guys tomorrow.
The next day.
Good morning and welcome to our room here at the Fairfield by Marriott Medellín Sabaneta. So as the name implies, we are in the Sabaneta district, I guess, of Medellín, or municipality. I'm not sure exactly how it works. Medellín's a lot bigger than we expected it to be. But anyways, come on in. We did get an upgrade, but I think something might have been lost in translation, because what we were given is a wheelchair accessible room. But basically, as you come in, you've got this long hallway. Little desk area here. Little mini fridge under here. Nothing special. We were given a fruit platter and a bottle of water as our welcome gift yesterday, which is nice. And then we've got a king-size bed, couple of lamps, not much lighting in here, natural lighting anyways. In the evening it gets quite dark, but we do have a big TV, air conditioning, and then a nice big wheelchair accessible bathroom, which honestly, if I was in a wheelchair and I needed to use this bathroom, it would kind of suck because, for example, these railings here, as you can see, very loose and wobbly. But we do have this nice huge shower area. It's got a handheld as well as the overhead. The one downside to this bathroom setup is because of this layout, the water basically just gets all over the floor and makes a mess when you have a shower, but it needed to be that way, of course, because it has to be accessible. And then, yeah, just a sink, mirror, a little dark in here too, but what are you gonna do? One thing I forgot, closet with a safe in there. It is now technically 2 days later. We did theoretically arrive on Friday night, though by the time we got out of the airport, it was Saturday morning, and it's now Sunday morning. What'd you think overall?
Well, the airport needs some work. I don't know if we got in at the time of a lot of other flights. Our Uber driver did mention that a lot of flights were coming in at that time, but I've never seen a customs line move so slow.
Yeah, we didn't actually film much yesterday or anything yesterday because we were so tired. We got in so late and that was such a long day on Friday. But it was 2 hours from the time we got off the plane to the time we got through customs and got our bags. And partly that was a lot of, people, a lot of planes must have come in at the same time. And partly just, I guess, a fairly inefficient system for processing that many people.
Yeah, so the flight here was pretty uneventful other than the air conditioner was like stuck on. So I'm so grateful that we had blankets. It's the one and only time out of 2 times that I can remember that the blanket was absolutely necessary. So I feel really bad for the people in the economy. But that being said, once we got to the airport, we were in line. There was a few things that kind of caught us off guard. One, you do have to do immigration, like an entrance thing, and we thought that we had everything sorted. Luckily, they had signs up, and we were able to do that while we were standing in line, since the line was moving so slow.
So it's an online customs form you have to fill out. Luckily, there was signs with the QR code. We were able to access that and fill it out online while we were standing in line for customs, which wasn't bad. And then the other thing, I guess, technically didn't catch us off guard was the, immigration fee. Canadian citizens are subject to a fee to come into Colombia, technically a tourist tax, and it was 270,000 Colombian pesos, about 102 Canadian dollars was what the exchange rate worked out to be for us that day. And that's technically a tourist tax, and Canadians are charged it, but not, for example, the Americans coming in weren't subject to that. And that's because the Colombian government has a reciprocal tourist tax on Canadian citizens because the Canadian government charges Colombian residents going to Canada. So anyways, it is what it is. We knew about it coming in.
Yeah, so it seems like it's a flat fee regardless of how long you're here, because he had no interest on how long we were staying or anything like that. They just wanted to make sure they got their money. So if you're coming here, make it a longer stay, because $100 just to enter for 5 days is pretty steep.
If you're Canadian, yeah. If you're not Canadian, then you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. And the other thing that kind of caught us off guard is how massive Medellín is. We got into our Uber, and it was over an hour just to get to the airport or just to get to the hotel. Our Uber driver was amazing and super awesome. He was chatting with us the whole way, broken English, broken Spanish. We did pretty good. We were using Google Translate a lot, but he was just telling us like how safe Medellín is, and he was trying to give us tips of like where to go and stuff like that. And he's just like super happy that tourists are coming, I think.
Yeah, no, really nice kid. He was giving us a lot of info on the different municipalities that we were driving through. We went through one heck of a long tunnel from the airport into Medellín proper. I guess it went through a mountain, and it was a long tunnel. We were in there for like 5-10 minutes, probably something like that.
Longer. I have no footage of it. It was dark out. It was middle of the night. Anyways. I stopped filming, so.
And then, like he was just describing all the different municipalities we were driving through that surround Medellín. So yeah, anyways, like I said before, we are currently in the Sabaneta municipality. It's, beautiful out, weather's gorgeous, it's just perfect temperature, and we're probably not going to get up to too much while we're here for the 5 nights. I'm just going to get some rest and relax and probably just be vegetables for a little bit, I think.
We have a lot of work to catch up on. So once we move over to the Airbnb, we're here for a total of 45 days, so we'll get plenty of stuff in. But right now, we kind of need to recover from the long haul flight, or the long day anyway.
And also, we both got sick on the cruise, so we're still on the tail end of recovering from that.
Yeah, most of our crew that we were with ended up sick, so all of us just kind of kept passing it around.
Yeah.
But so stay tuned, and we will get showing you guys Medellín and what it has to offer. It's beautiful, it's hilly, and
Very hilly.
First impressions, people are awesome here, and I think it's going to be really fun.
Yeah, it should be a good time.
Several days later.
It's a few days later, and we are now checking out of the Fairfield here in Medellín and moving over to our Airbnb.
Yeah, so as far as this day went, we didn't get up to much. Neither of us were feeling particularly well after the cruise, so we just took the time to kind of relax and decompress and stuff. So as far as this day, having a wheelchair accessible room was a little odd. I would prefer that they would just keep that for somebody who actually needed it rather than giving it to us.
Like I said, I think when we asked about a potential upgrade, that somehow got lost in translation, and I think they gave us this room because it was bigger, but it wasn't really what we were asking for.
Anyways, yeah. We didn't see anybody with wheelchairs, so we didn't feel too bad the whole time that we were here. Anyways, as far as gluten-free, it's a bit of a challenge. Of course, if you speak Spanish, your life will be a lot easier. I do not speak Spanish, so we had to ask. Through Google Translate, we got something because we were having to eat out, but there wasn't a lot of options. So that is something to keep in mind. If you're coming here and you're gluten-free, just expect it to take a little bit more effort.
Fair enough. So we are going to check out. We're going to grab an Uber and head over to our Airbnb, and that is where we are going to be for the remainder of our stay here in Medellín, Colombia. So I believe it's 40 more nights before we head over to Mexico. Welcome to our Airbnb here in Medellín, Colombia, where we're going to be spending the next 40 nights. It's a nice little apartment, so this should be a comfortable enough stay. Right as you come in, there is a laundry area off to the side. Nice washer-dryer combo unit here, as well as a little sink area. We got a little kitchen here, which is pretty decently equipped. We've got a decently sized fridge, freezer, the usual plates, bowls, but there is a fair bit of utensils. We do also have a 4-burner gas stove as well as a gas oven. And our Airbnb host left us a nice note, as well as, it looks like, some coffee, some cashews, trail mix, and a bottle of red wine. Right off the kitchen, we've got a little guest bathroom, just a toilet and a sink. Our living room area here, which has a fairly, you know what, that's a pretty comfortable couch, as well as some funky decor, like this rotary dial phone, which is really fun. Got a little desk here, as well as a big TV here. And a really large balcony, which opens out. And we have a pretty decent view of the city. Unfortunately, as you can tell, there is a construction site right behind me, so it's a little bit noisy during the day. Fingers crossed that it'll be nice and quiet in the evening. The other cool thing we've got out here is a built-in gas barbecue. I've already tested it. That's the gas on-off switch, and that works, so that's going to be really handy to have. Coming back into the apartment, we've got a big queen-size bed, which is fantastic. The other cool thing is if you want to watch TV from bed, this center unit, the TV flips around, and now you can watch it from in bed. There's also a walk-through closet area here. There's a safe just behind the door there. And the main bathroom, which has toilet, sink, as well as a shower. So as you can see, there is a lot of construction around us. There's 1, 2, 3 different construction sites right next to the building, as well as this little amusement park just below there. So throughout the day and throughout the evening, there's generally a lot of noise, and that's the only thing that's been a real negative with this stay so far. There is technically a spa here. This space isn't open, but I see some massage beds and stuff in there. So I'm not sure if and when they open or what the pricing would be for that. We're on level 5 right now, and down here there is some communal spaces. There's a looks like a kids playroom. There's a dance studio space, as well as what they call a social kitchen, which looks like a nice communal kitchen and dining area space. All 3 of these are locked at the moment, so I believe you must have to book them in advance to use those spaces. Also on level 5, there is this really nice interior courtyard space that's open air and is available for residents of the building to use. We're up on level 6 now, and there is a youth games room. Looks like just a hangout space with foosball and a ping pong table in there. It also is locked, so I'm not sure if and how you can access it. Also on level 6, there is a co-working space where you can do some quiet work. Looks like there's a bunch of people in there right now, so we're not going to go in there and actually film anything. Up on level 7, we have the gym, which is actually pretty decently equipped, except that they have some odd hours. It's closed every day from 1 to 2 p.m. for cleaning, and there was another day where they are randomly closed because they had a tech in here working on one of the treadmills. Beyond that, though, it's been nice to have this space available to us. On level 12, there is terraces here that overlook the city. We're now on level 22, and there's another one of these terraces here that overlook the city. We're currently on level 24, and there's another lounge seating space there with a nice view. We're not going to go actually over to it because just over there is one of the janitorial staff doing floor cleaning, so we don't want to traipse across the freshly cleaned floor that she's trying to work on. There's another co-working space here on level 25. Yet again, it's locked though, so probably have to book it and schedule a time slot to use it or something, not sure. We are now up on level 30, which is where the rooftop pool is. So what do you think of the space?
The space is great. I'm a little disappointed that they didn't warn us that there was construction. Thankfully, they're at like closer to mid-stage, so it's not going to be jackhammering and stuff on a regular basis. So that's a blessing. The other thing is that there's like a children's theme park, like really, really close. I'm really hoping that there's not a lot of music that comes from that place.
It looks like just a really little amusement park for kids. I see like a little kids roller coaster, some bumper cars, a little Ferris wheel type of thing. I don't expect that to be very busy or run very late at night. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
It is a little noisy in the unit. One of these windows, the very end piece here behind this louver, is basically missing a window. It's just a sheet of like plastic film. So a lot of street noise does come into the unit. Not perfect, but you know what? I'm not surprised that the listing doesn't mention the construction noise. Most places wouldn't because that would scare off potential guests. It is what it is. We'll see how bad it gets tonight when we're trying to sleep.
Yeah. But other than that, I love the space. It looks really cozy and really comfortable. So I think it'll be okay for 45 days.
40 nights.
40
Yes,
nights,
it's agreed. It's fairly well equipped. The host so far has been very responsive to any questions and inquiries we've got. So yeah, fingers crossed, this should be a comfortable stay. So that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for joining us as we journeyed here to Medellín, Colombia. We hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the thumbs up to give us a like and make sure you subscribe.
And join us in our other videos for more adventures. Until then, stay curious and keep exploring.